good morning, champions. Happy Friday morning, coming to you live from the 5 a.m. club where we get up early and we conquer our morning to own our day, TGIF. The grind includes Friday, even when I can't get the marbles out of my mouth, right? And on this Friday morning, I guess that's a good reminder. It's a good reminder that the first words that you say can't be to a potential client, right? So you need to practice, you need to enunciate, you need to do some things, just like any musical band that performs or anything like that, or a singer, right? They warm up, they do some things. And so doing some, vocal type warm-ups, just a little something before you start, and maybe, role play or read, the first portion of your PEC in order just to get your mouth used to saying those words. Because for me, if I have those things a little bit more ingrained in my subconscious, then that allows me to focus more on two things. One, it allows me to focus more on my cadence and my enunciation, right? Too often I listen to recordings and you'll have, especially seniors, somebody that answers the phone and talks with a slower kind of melodic kind of just cadence, and the agent will come talking so fast and you can almost hear the client say, I'm sorry, because they're just used to a slower kind of just pace that goes through, right? So it's hard to focus on, am I talking too fast and doing all this stuff? And then also, voice inflection, and then being able to just be prepared to hear what the client is saying. It's so critical. This goes for all aspects of life, right? Relationship-wise, this is fantastic advice if you need some relationship advice this morning. But if we are too focused on the next thing that we are going to say, then it is impossible to hear what the other person is saying, right? There's a difference between hearing it and actively listening. And if you aren't actively listening to your client, not just the words that they say, but the true intention behind why they're saying what they're saying, then that is really going to reduce the effectiveness of your PEC. Because part of that PEC is kind of a choose your own adventure, right? And so we need to be actively listening to hear what the client's saying, one. Two, if they're asking questions, then how can we lead them in the right direction and make sure that they are feeling like they're being heard? And then three, the advanced stage to this is the whole concept of the whole concept of knowing what questions need to be asked in order to then walk them down the path that we want them to walk down. That's really where this gets unlocked, right? Is being able to say, okay, I hear what they're saying without saying it. Let me ask this question to see if I can't steer them in that direction. And none of these things are possible if we aren't actively listening, right? So that's that reminder today. Don't just call and just regurgitate the words that are on the page in front of you, because it's not just a straight line sales pitch. And it needs to be a conversation. It needs to be an engaged conversation. It needs to be a conversation that Mr. and Mrs. Jones are actively involved with. And the whole goal, the whole concept of the PEC is to get them to talk about themselves as much as humanly possible. So if we can get them talking about themselves relevantly, right? Not just some story from 30 years ago that has nothing to do with it, but if we can get them talking about themselves and their family in a relevant conversation, then that is us walking down the goal line to get them to connect the dots between, okay, myself, my family, the things that I love the most, that's what's important to me. I want to protect them, and we can guide and steer that, but we can't do any of that if we aren't actively listening, and if we aren't confident enough in the words that we're going to say, how we're going to say them, so that we're not focused on that, and instead we're focused on being able to listen so that we're not so focused on the next words that we're going to say. So that's my message for this Friday morning. Also, friendly reminder, high answer rates on Friday, high answer rates on Saturday. So much time left to accomplish all the goals and dreams that you yourself want to accomplish. So let's aspire to be better today than we were yesterday. Let's do it every single day, folks. You'll be absolutely amazed at where you end up. Let's have a fantastic Friday. See you guys soon. I'm out. Woo!